For the LiPo batteries, I didn't want to get the battery wet, so I opted not to put the battery in the bottom of the boat. What I did was I unscrewed the main screw that holds the heads of the driver and passenger on, and used Velcro and put the screw through the Velcro and screwed it down to fasten it in place. I used sticky Velcro, put a little piece of the hook side right here and a strip across the back, and then I put the fuzzy side, a piece on the front of the battery and on the back of the battery. So when I'm ready to install it into the boat for a run, just tack it in, which helps keep it pretty secure, and then just simply wrap the long straps down, and that holds it in place and keeps it out of the bottom of the boat. I've had it flip over and still the battery comes out pretty dry, so I haven't had any problems with that. I've been running it pretty much like this since day one. You can see I've got the extra seal. It's just door seal. I stuck one layer on the lid and one layer on the boat itself, and that does a pretty good job of keeping most of the water out. So I have quite a few of these little helicopter batteries that I use for my jet boat, and used to get really confusing which ones were charged and which ones weren't. So I come up with a little method now. Because I already have Velcro on the batteries to hold them into the lid, what I did was I took a little piece of Velcro, sticky Velcro, and folded it in half to make a little tab, and put a little plus on one side and a negative on the other. So when I charge my batteries, I just simply stick it on, and that lets me know this battery is good. As soon as I put it in the boat, just before I mount it in, I'll flip it over so that when I take it out of the boat, I know this one is dead. This method works pretty good, especially if you have a lot of batteries, and especially if a lot of the batteries look alike. So I've got the new motor bolted onto the jet unit. It's a 28 millimeter by 36 millimeter brushless motor, 3900 kVs, and I just used some 1/8 aluminum tubing to make my water cooling jacket. The speed control, which they say is waterproof, had some exposed components on it, and they did rust up, and my speed control started causing a problem. So what I did was, when I replaced it with my new one, I put it inside a little container and drilled the holes out for the cooling tubes to go through and to allow the wires out the side, and sealed all around them with the clear silicone that I used to install the jet unit, and basically just used the old school balloon to waterproof my receiver. So the speed control, which is contained inside this watertight container now, is I'm running Hobbywing 35 amp speed control, water cooled. So these are my homemade brass bushings. I try to replace them after so many uses. As soon as they start to show some wear, I replace them. Sometimes probably not as soon as I should. They tend to wear out pretty fast with brushless power. For my water cooling system, the water pickup in the stator, I just used a poppet rivet. I ground down one side of it, which is kind of hard to see, but it's ground down so that it scoops up the water. It works really well. I just kind of drilled a hole and crazy glued it in place,